Our 5-hour Energy Rapid Recap brings you up to speed on what's happened in the first half of today's race. Brad Keselowski, one of 5 drivers, making the shuffle over from Michigan here to Kentucky. He started 25th. He has worked his way steadily up to the front, running in 6th position right now. Carl Edwards went backwards first.
Yeah, he really did. He had a problem with the right rear tire, went flat, gave him some problems. He really struggled early, but he has worked his way up to the front, just like Brad Keselowski, and currently is running 5th after getting that right rear change.
Carl as far back as 31st at one point in the race. Joey Logano started on the pole, trying to win this race from the pole for a 3rd straight year. He has led the most laps, but twice tonight he's been shuffled back in line by strategy on pit stops. It happened on the first pit stop earlier in the race, and it happened on this most recent one. Logano's running 3rd in line behind Justin Allgaier and Michael Annett. So Logano got to do a little more rallying to get back to the front. On this most recent caution, Scott Wimmer was the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass, was the first driver a lap down. He gets back on the lead lap. Remember, he had an unscheduled pit stop very early in the race. Wimmer now in 22nd position. So we go green with what will be 80 laps to go. This is an official race. We'll tell you there is some weather on the radar. It's a bit away from us. It's a race to the checkered flag, not just for these cars, but against the weather, too. Green flag, go, Justin Allgaier, the leader.
And as we come out of turn number 2, heading down the backstretch, it is Justin Allgaier opening up about a 1/10 of a second lead over Joey Logano. A lot of action going on behind him. We can tell you there were 3 wave rounds. Kenny Wallace, Derek Cope, Tony Raines. That gives us a total of 23 cars on the lead lap. And you got Mr. Coleman getting himself passed on both sides. You got 22 of Brad Keselowski high, the 33 of Mike Bliss down low.
Tell you what, on these restarts, it's very easy to get trapped 3 wide in the center. You saw Coleman get locked up there. But I tell you, one thing I'm watching right now are the 2 cars up front that only did 2 tires. And that's Justin Allgaier and Michael Annett.
And Michael Annett, you see going backwards a little bit, being passed by 22 car Brad Keselowski.
And there's that battle continuing with the 33, Bliss, trying to get underneath Brad Coleman. And there's Reed Sorensen. He got shuffled back in the exchange of pit stops, restarted about 8th, and he's trying to fight his way back up.
Earlier in the race, Reed Sorensen was out there about 2 seconds in the lead. Now he's back in traffic and struggling just a little bit.
All right, while all this is going on, let's check in with Vince Welch. He's caught up with Taylor.
Well, the reason for the yellow prior to that restart was the big hit for Taylor Malsom. What happened there in the contact with the 88?
I just screwed up. I mean, I got inside of him, and I couldn't, hold and slid up and got him. I apologize to those guys. We're just here to make laps, and sorry for the team. They went an awesome car today, and real proud of the guys. We'll go get them next week.
Good to see Taylor Malsom out under his own power. No ill effects of that contact. It was a big one. His second NASCAR Nationwide Series race, Marty.
It certainly was, Vince. And right now, as we come back out onto the track, you can see Riggs, or I should say Bliss, still trying to duke it out as he's got now the 32 going around him. So Sorensen passes Bliss, moves him back another spot. So Bliss, when he was fighting for Coleman for 6, all of a sudden finds himself back in 8th. Michael Annett is under pressure from Brad Coleman.
We're now seeing the fastest laps of the race with that weather cooling down and got fresh tires on this restart. Logano has the fastest lap at 30.91, and Justin Allgaier is also in the 32nd bracket at 30.97. So cars are really waking up here.
Take a look at the top 3 right there in your screen as Logano's trying to reel in Justin Allgaier and Carl Edwards in 3rd. Did you honestly think, as we move a little bit further back, and here is the battle with Brad Coleman and Michael Annett still going on. Coleman now in 5th. Annett drops back to 6th. And Annett could be in trouble with those 2 tires because here comes Reed Sorensen.
Well, 2 tires work if the car's handling really good. And I think Michael's car might be off a little bit more than Justin Allgaier's car. Now, Justin just run a very fast lap out there. He does have that clean air. He's up front right now. And I'll promise you, a lot of these teams, Andy, are looking to how are those 2 tires working for late in the race.
Yeah, because we're going to see about, if this run goes to the end, about 20, 25 laps to the finish. So that's the time you would think about taking 2 tires.
Let's get more on Michael Annett from Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, the man who made the call for Michael Annett on those 2 tires on the right side of your screen, that's Ryan Fugel. His nickname is Rudy. Remember the movie Rudy about the kid that just wouldn't give up, wanted to be a part of the Notre Dame football team? Well, that's Ryan Fugel's story. He came down and wanted to be a crew member. He said, you're not qualified, you're not talented enough. He volunteered, he did whatever they wanted him to do. He ran errands, he swept the shop, and finally, because of his unbelievable desire, he now is a crew chief at the age of 26. He said, you know what? I've been gambling my whole life, so I'm going to gamble on 2 tires, try to keep the track position. I got to believe there'll be more caution flags. We'll change 4 later, but if we can stay in the top 10, we got a good chance of finishing there.
Hey, Doc, I'll tell you the truth. I mean, he came in 14th. Even though he's been shuffled back, he's still in 7th. So far, the strategy is paying dividends. There are the 2 Roush cars going side by side. Battle for 12th between Eichler in the 6, Braun in the 16. Or Brown. I get my Browns and Brauns confused all the time. Spelled the same, pronounced differently. And there's Brendan Gaughan right behind, and he's taking a look to the inside. Can he make it stick? He's got that low line. He usually likes to run up high. He's got a nose in front of Colin. Trevor Bayne also looking at all this as it goes on right in front of him.
I can promise you, if he can get if they can get the Brendan Gaughan car to the 2nd lane, the top of the racetrack, he'll definitely go there, because he does not like running on the bottom of the track. Just can't see him get his car to run up top like it normally does.
One of the things I want to throw out for you guys is we're hearing word that there is another chance of a storm coming towards us here at Kentucky Speedway. Obviously, the crews are going to know that. Crew chief, are you now in sprint mode? I mean, are you changing anything as far as strategy?
Well, it's 70 laps to go. I'm already in sprint mode. It's time to start getting up to the front. If you've got something to try to win, you want to, you're looking at that weather, and it might affect your decision if it happens to get closer. Right now, you're just thinking about staying on strategy.
Well, we talked a little bit about the weather. Let's talk about Justin Allgaier and his team. What are they talking about, Jamie Little?
Well, his crew chief, Chad Walter, has been watching the weather, made the last-minute call to take 2 instead of 4 because of the weather. Chad, what are you seeing? How close do you think it is?
Well, the best stuff we got here, Penske tells us about 40 to 45 minutes. That puts us right in the range of 15 to 20 laps to go that there's a possibility for weather. Really hot, really humid up here in Kentucky. Justin's been doing a really good job out front. We felt like track position was more important than getting 4 tires at this point, so hopefully the gamble pays off.
So far, it's looking good. Joey Logano not gaining a whole lot on your leader, Justin Allgaier, Marty.
He is. He's managing to hold him off, guys. 0.2 of a second difference.
But if you can get up front and get the lead like he did on that stop, that is worth speed. I mean, just being up there is worth speed, and he's saying, Chad Walter, the crew chief, saying that's worth as much as having 4 tires on the car.
Caution's out. Caution is out.
We've got caution, and we're hearing it's debris on the front straightaway here, and we're looking for it out our window. So far, haven't seen anything yet, although right up to my left, maybe, guys, left of the start-finish line, maybe about 150 yards. There you go.
It's like a screen, Andy, out of the front of the car. I see part of the nose work. Screen. This is a key stop right here, because a lot of these guys have worked on these cars throughout the night, and this track temperature's cooled down a lot. These cars have changed. They've had about 10 or 12 laps right there.
And now is when the weather really does start to work on you. You think, okay, if it's really close, then what do? We got a chance we can come in right now, or do we stay out?
Yeah, and I've been in this situation before where you go, you know what, that was a bad call. What we did to the car gives them a chance to undo it. And I got to believe some of these guys who did 4 will definitely do 2 right now.
And some of them will probably stay out.
Stay out, okay.
5th caution on the racetrack right now.
He got me on that one. I always like the pit, Marty. I'm like, bring me down pit road, baby. Put some tires on this thing,
Yeah, you always wanted tires. 67 laps to go. And you can see the field tightening up. And the question will be...
you see the crews on the wall, so they're thinking about pitting here.
How many are going to be takers? How many are going to be fakers?
67 laps. That's a little bit outside the window, but I got to believe some of these guys could make it.
It'd be a stretch. Well,
here they come. They're going to come.
Nobody's faking here. Here comes Justin Allgaier. So let's go triple box. And Doc, you're up again.
Rusty, you're exactly right. They're about 2 laps shy. At least Reed Sorensen isn't making it all the way, but they're going to go ahead and come in and top it off, be fuel only. They're going to make a track bar adjustment to try to free up his Toyota. What about Brad K? Vince?
Brad Keselowski taking fuel only, no tires. They're very close on their fuel window. Jamie Little, take the 12.
Justin Allgaier, fuel only. That means This will be the third cycle on these left side tires. It's a quick stop for him. He's down and away, Dave.
Fuel only for second place Logano. He'll win the race off of pit road. Allgaier and then Carl Edwards, who also took fuel only.
Then followed by Reed Sorensen and then the 33 of Mike Bliss. So that gives you an idea as who came out on the race off pit road. So Joey Logano, who has already led 62 laps tonight, one of our 5 different leaders. There you see, he is first off pit road. That #1 pit box, big advantage when you're going gas and go only.